Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty exciting things to go over. We have some new leak updates regarding Pokemon Legends EA. We have some new Generation 10 rumors to take a look at and some updates regarding the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. Plenty of things to break down though, so if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's take a look at these leak updates regarding Pokemon Legends EA. Don't worry, no story spoilers or anything like that. This is just a sort of, I guess, information regarding why the game is coming out at such a later time than it was originally planned. So we've got Armashinu here basically tweeting out saying, update, the Switch 2 edition of Pokemon Legends EA is the main reason the release is delayed so late it seems. So obviously Legends EA originally supposed to come out 2024, and then we were going to get DLC in June 2025. So in a couple of months we were supposed to get DLC, and then of course Generation 10 was going to be announced February 2026 for the 30th anniversary. Because Legends EA got pushed back over a year, we don't know what's happening with that DLC. And then, of course, it kind of has repercussions and knock-on effects. I'm still expecting Generation 10 to be revealed in next year's Pokemon Day Presents. But in regards to DLC, again, I don't know where they're going to fit that in, because late 2025 for Legends EA, again, a lot of people are expecting it to be around September, October time. And if it is, when does that DLC fit in? It's not really going to be December, because that's so quick after the game's just come out. Is it going to get announced in that February Presents? Maybe. So we get Gen 10 and DLC announced in February. We get the DLC in May time. And then, of course, Generation 10 comes out in November. That could be one way they do it. Or they might just completely scrap the DLC entirely. But that is the reason that the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Legends EA is the main reason as to why it got pushed back. Again, maybe it was because they didn't have enough time to kind of make the game in their eyes and how they wanted it to look. They might have just done it because Nintendo were like, look, we want a Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch 2 as soon as possible. Delay the game so we can then grab it and put it on the Nintendo Switch 2. Because a lot of people, myself included, are just going to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 version. But people are also going to buy the Nintendo Switch 1 version because not everyone's going to get a Switch 2 at the start. So it's kind of like there's two different versions of it. But anyway, they also go on to say, the story is great, a bit darker than Pokemon Legends Arceus, and the source is Ball Guy. So again, Ball Guy is a pretty reputable source when it comes to Pokemon leaks. A lot of the kind of story leaks that are coming out are coming from Ball Guy. And yeah, this isn't obviously a massive spoiler or anything, it's just that the story is great, which is good to hear, and it's darker than Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus was I don't think it was like a super dark story. I really enjoyed the twist at the end, and having to fight the Giratina twice and stuff like that was really good. But darker themes are kind of getting incorporated a little bit more into Pokemon anyway, because obviously one of the professors had passed away, and we didn't even know about that until obviously the end of the game when it turns out that they were AI. And I just kind of like these sort of, I don't know, darker tones in Pokemon. It's just a nice breath of fresh air. Obviously, I had like Lusamine fusing with Pokemon. You had obviously Chairman Rose doing what he was doing. Like, all the games now, the stories have been really good in my opinion. But anyway, that's just a quick update regarding Legends EA, why it was postponed, and also it's got a good story and it's darker than Legends Arceus. Moving on, we have a new Nintendo Switch 2 update to go over, and it was a post by Go Nintendo tweet saying, yes, the Nintendo Switch 2 game cards will taste bad. So this is a post on Go Nintendo tweet saying a sour experience. So in one of the weirdest stories that popped up during the Nintendo Switch's lifespan, it was revealed that Nintendo Switch game cards tasted especially bad. This discovery came about completely randomly, which led to all sorts of people tasting the game cards for themselves. This led to Nintendo confirming that yes, Switch game cards taste bad, and that was 100% on purpose. I mean, it's a really good idea, to be fair, the fact that they thought about that, because the game cards are small. You know, children could easily put that in their mouth and potentially swallow it. It's a choking hazard. So the fact that it tastes bad, if a kid puts it in the mouth, they're going to spit it straight out, which is good. It's actually really, really smart that they thought of that. Nintendo made sure a bitter agent was applied to Switch game cards in order to keep them out of the mouths of youngsters. Babies and toddlers tend to stick anything and everything in their mouths, and if they happen to pick up a Switch game card, the thinking was that the bad taste would cause them to spit it out rather than choke on it / swallow the game card. This appears to have been a system that worked out well for the Switch, as it's returning for the Nintendo Switch 2. No need to taste your Switch 2 game cards, as Nintendo has confirmed that they'll taste just as bad as the original Switch cards did. That said, we have a feeling plenty of people aren't going to take Nintendo's word here, and they'll have to do a taste test of their own anyway. Which, again, people just want to experience it for themselves. It's going to taste bad. That's your warning. If you want to taste it, it's up to you. But yeah, it's not going to taste great. Coming up next, we have some more specs to go over regarding the Nintendo Switch 2. Digital Foundry offers new insight into specific tech and specs for the Nintendo Switch 2. So technically speaking, this was posted on the 7th of April, so a couple of days ago now. But no one loves tech teardowns more than the gang at Digital Foundry. Their team loves picking apart the power and features of new gaming hardware, and they've already done that once with the Nintendo Switch 2. That wasn't good enough for their team though, as they're back yet again with an even deeper dive. And it says, do you want to know the real nitty-gritty tech details on the Nintendo Switch 2? The kind of stuff Nintendo is never going to tell you, where you can look at the summary below, which comes from some very detailed analysis from the Digital Foundry team. So this is all the kind of like hardware specs that you need to know about for the Nintendo Switch 2. We've gone over a couple of them already in previous videos, but as it's just been stated, this is an update regarding that. So uses a T239 chip derived from a T234 processor NVIDIA uses for the automotive industry. The T239 may share the same GPU architecture as the T234. The Deep Learning Accelerator and ARM Cortex A78AE are gone. The 2048 CUDA core GPU is slimmed down to 1536 cores. A 256-bit memory interface drops down to 128-bit. The 455 mm2 T234 processor drops down to around 200 mm2. File decompression accelerator, taking the burden from the CPU for handling assets coming in hot from storage. 200 mm2 processor made by Samsung. Expect 1 GHz GPU clocks with 561 MHz mobile mode. Downclocking memory bandwidth from 102 GB docked to 68 GB for handheld. Unclear why the CPU frequency in handheld play 1101 MHz is faster than docked 998 MHz. Hardware accelerated ray tracing, mesh shaders, and machine learning for DLSS upscaling. 256 GB of UFS storage backed by the file decompression hardware. The docked Nintendo Switch 2 delivers more than the Steam Deck, but it's unclear how portable modes compare. And then 561 MHz GPU clock and a 1.1 GHz CPU. 20 WH battery with a minimum 2 hours battery life. Again, that's one that's kind of upset quite a few people. Only having 2 hours battery life is kind of trash. I mean, it's minimum, but 2 hours is pretty terrible. Like if you're on a train ride or a car ride or whatever, and you've got like 4 hours, you can only do half of it on your Nintendo Switch 2. And it uses a maximum of 10 watts of power during, I assume that's PLA play. So those are all like the major updates regarding the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. Again, not long until it comes out. 5th of June is only less than a couple of months away, so we'll be playing it sooner rather than later. But anyway, those are all the updates regarding the Nintendo Switch 2's hardware specs. Finishing things off, though, we have a new rumor to go over regarding Generation 10. This was posted on 4chan on the 10th of April. Only just getting around to it. At the time I'm recording this, 4chan is still down, so I have no idea if rumors are gonna be back anytime soon. Hopefully they are, because they're always fun to go over, and it's always nice to end the video with one. But as of right now, 4chan is down. But I did screen grab this a few days before it went down. I'm only just getting around to it. But either way, it is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. It could be the last rumor we ever cover if 4chan doesn't go back up. But anyway, Gen 10 Gaia. Like I say, posted on the 10th of April. It's called Pokemon Abyss and Pokemon Aether. So the Alas region, based in Greece and Turkey. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people are expecting a Greek region. I, for one, would love a Greek region. I think they could do some really cool things with like Greek gods and everything like that. And we know it's an archipelago of islands as well, so they could really work that into a sort of Greek and Turkey region. So the Abyss legendary is Poseidon. It's going to be a water ground type. I feel like it should just be pure water with Poseidon, but anyway. Aether legendary is Zeus being flying electric. Again, just pure electric, pure water I think could be fine for Zeus and Poseidon. They would be some really cool legendaries though. Especially if they have like different forms. If they're a little bit like the genies where they have like an incarnate form and then they have like a different form. So like one form they're taking on more of like a potential, not like a human sort of aesthetic, but just, I don't know, like the genies, how they're kind of like in the clouds with arms and stuff, something like that, and then they go into the different form. Something like that would be cool. The starter Pokemon are a grass dog, which is going to be the Europe theme, a fire cobra, which is a Middle East theme, and a water hippopotamus, which is going to be an Africa theme. So a hippopotamus, a cobra, and a grass dog would be the starter Pokemon. Meowth gets a regional form based in the... I don't really need another regional form of Meowth. We've already gotten so many. But it's going to be normal water type, apparently. Again, do not need another Meowth form. We've already got a load of Meowth. Galarian Meowth. We don't need another one. Diving returns with a Lantern evolution. So apparently we can dive on a evolution of Lantern. Not a form or anything. It's just an evolution of it. And that's how we dive. So rideable Pokemon, I assume, would be back. And that would be how we dive underwater. Again, it's likely we are going to be getting diving if that Lumineon image is true, which it's likely to be. And then it says running with a normal / fighting horse. So yeah, rideable Pokemon apparently returning in Generation 10. I feel like you need rideable Pokemon. If there's so many different islands and stuff, we might start off on like a boat, being able to go to different islands. But then I assume we get a rideable kind of water type, and that's how we traverse the islands much faster. I'm probably just gonna be able to fast travel to them anyway. But I don't know, I kind of like the Wind Waker sort of vibe where you don't have to fast travel. You could just go onto the ocean and just go out and then just discover like little mini islands and stuff like that. That's one of my favorite parts of Wind Waker. And then it says there's going to be sky riding with Pegasus. It's going to be a flying electric type, so similar to the Zeus legendary. So that's how we fly. Surfing with a seahorse, water steel. I mean, we do need another water steel type Pokemon. We've only got Empoleon right now, so having another one would be really cool. Again, I feel like a Narwhal would be better for water steel than a seahorse. Seahorses are very, very small as well. Obviously, it'd be a much bigger one, but I don't know. I feel like a Narwhal would be a better idea. Climbing with a Cree Goat. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's going to be a normal rock type Pokemon, so keep those fighting type moves away. So that's climbing, surfing, sky, flying, running, and diving. And then Underwater City at the deepest point in the sea, and Sky Island in the highest point in Olympus. I would really like that. That'd be really cool. So there's obviously all these different archipelago of islands, and you can dive underwater, go to this sort of Atlantis kind of city, and in the very top of the, I guess, in the clouds, there's like another city as well. Again, very unlikely, but I think that'd be really cool. The story is peak for a Pokemon game. Again, we're expecting this to be the most ambitious Pokemon game ever. They say that every time, but it's Generation 10. It's on a brand new console. It's apparently going to be exclusive to the Nintendo Switch too. Yeah, I'm expecting big things from this. This better be my favorite Pokemon game of all time. It should be, but Pokesports returns. It's very fun. Returns for vacation, old characters like Cynthia and Steven. So you got loads of old characters returning for a vacation. I mean, I guess it would be some sort of vacation sort of region. Some of these islands would be like vacation islands where, you know, you got really nice sunny sort of beaches and sandy beaches and just hotels and stuff like that. You'd expect that 100%. Only champions have the official competitive scene. So they're talking about Pokemon champions there. So again, there's going to be an online on this game, but I think for proper competitive, it's just going to be Pokemon champions for the foreseeable future, because that is just an online battle simulator. It's going to have every gimmick in it. It's going to have all the new Pokemon in it. Like I say, all the Legends ZA Mega Evolutions are going to be in this game. It's going to be the sort of place where you go when you want to do VGC or 6v6 singles or whatever. And then it says, Mega Evolutions return from Legends ZA. Again, I'm a little bit skeptical about this, because obviously Generation 10 is going to have its own gimmick, but they could do it like they did in Generation 7, where they have their own gimmick in Z-moves, and then they have Mega Evolutions locked to post-game. Like, they could do that, and I'd like them to do that. I'd like the Mega Evolutions to be back. Again, you wouldn't expect any brand new ones, but it'd just be nice to be able to use the Mega Evolutions not just in a competitive scene, because I mean, obviously you can do that in Legends ZA, but Legends ZA is real-time battling, so to be able to use the new Mega Evolutions, not in a competitive battle, but in a turn-based system, you won't be able to do that unless they're obviously in Generation 10. And then it says, some Pokemon get hyper-cross breeding. One of the themes is between Tauros and Machoke into a new species, a Minotaur. I feel like we covered something very similar to that the other day where they talked about, you know, it might have been Tauros and Machoke, or Tauros and something becoming a Minotaur, and it was like a fusion sort of thing, which I really like the idea of. I think that'd be really cool. And it says November the 21st, 2026. I'm not going to check what day that is. I assume it's a Thursday or a Friday. It's just way too far away. And I cannot be bothered to go through all the dates, but yeah, I'd expect it to be a Thursday or a Friday. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like a pretty cool rumor. I like the idea of all these different rideables. I like the kind of sounds of these legendaries, the starters, Pokesports returning, Underwater City, a highest point city as well, Megas returning, fusions as well, like Hypercross breed. I think it just sounds really cool. Don't think it's going to be true, but we'll have to wait and see. We may get Generation 10 leaks in the near future because obviously Legends EA is leaking so much as of right now. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this rumor. Do you think it is true or not? Would you like it to be true or not for Generation 10? And then what are your thoughts on all the other Nintendo Switch 2 stuff we covered? The hardware specs, the game cartridges tasting bad, and then also your thoughts on Legends EA being postponed because of the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. But that's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. If you enjoyed, drop a like. Let's try and hit 500. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you're brand new. And until next time, peace.